Welcome to Digimon.
Hello and welcome to Digimon and welcome to another deck profile. If you're liking this content, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell so you're not missing out on any of the latest content. Today's deck profile we are looking at AguBond, Bond of Bravery, otherwise known as AguBond. Got some new cards and some new tools in the LM set, including the Scrambles of course, which are the talk of the town, and we've also got the new Bond of Bravery Ace, so let's take a look at the profile. So starting with the eggs, we've got 5 eggs, we've got 4 of the BT14 Coromon, obviously helps you with the draw power whenever you're checking security or whenever a card is removed from security, and we've got 1 of the BT9 Coromon just because it gives a little DP boost to some of our cards that want a little bit extra DP, so not too bad at all, just a little 1000 DP boost, but it can make a little bit of difference, which is not bad. Going into the rookies now, we've got 4 copies of the EX1 Agumon, which is completely vanilla, but it does have a great inheritable of being able to search your deck when you attack. And it'll search out either 1 Tamer or 1 card with Agumon in its name. So it's actually a way of being able to search out Bond of Bravery Ace, which is really cool. Next Agumon we've got to talk about is the BT12 Agumon, which will reveal your top 4, add a Greymon and a tie, which is not bad at all. Obviously can't add the Bond of Braveries, but you know, so-so. Also has a 1000 DP inheritable for any of your Greymons, again, to help out some of the cards that need a little bit extra DP, so not bad. We've also got 3 copies of the BT14 Agumon, and this card is your main scramble target in this deck. So it's got a start of main effect that if you've got a tie in play, you can then digivolve up into a card with Greymon in its name, free of charge. So you can play it out with the scramble at the start of your turn, have it there, start of main, go up into the Greymon. Now you don't have a way of giving that rush, unfortunately, unlike something like the Birds deck. Make sure you double check the profile for Birds, which will be in the pinned comments below. But what it does do is allows you to do a full combo with a Greymon and with your Skull Greymon, which we'll get into once we get round to Skull Greymon. We've also got 2 copies of the BT6 Agumon. This one is a kind of a bond specific Agumon. Has an all turns effect, and when you play a Tamer with tie in its name, you gain 1 memory, which is not bad at all. And then also has a your turn inheritable of giving your Agumon Bond of Bravery security tap +1, which is very nice indeed. Going on to the champions now, we've got Greymon from BT5. This is another great kind of target for your scramble combo, because you go into the Agumon start of main, go into a Greymon for free, go into the BT5, because you've got an Agumon underneath you, you gain a memory, so pretty good. Only at 2 though, because the inheritable isn't as useful in this deck, because you need to go into other stuff to make that worth it, and unfortunately Bond of Bravery does not make that inheritable worth it at all, but the memory is nice in a pinch. We've also got 4 of the P010 Greymon, so this is the one where if you've got Agumon underneath you, you gain security tap +1, and we can make this really big if we manage to make enough of a stack. And the way we make a big enough stack is with the other Greymon we've got in this deck, which is the BT17 Greymon, which when digivolving, it will give itself 3000 DP if its name is Coromon, and we'll get into why it gets called Coromon in just a second. But it then essentially deletes something with DP equal or less to itself. And the reason why it's called Coromon is because there's an all turns effect where essentially all of the level 3 cards underneath it also grant it their names. So it will have the name of Agumon and it will have the name of Coromon. So you can actually use it for those purposes. So, and because that's all turns, it also means you can use him as a target for Bond of Bravery Ace, if you're at the point where you've got 2 or fewer security, which is pretty nice. But you know, he gives those boosts, and the really cool thing about him being named Coromon is that if you've got either the BT14 Agumon or the BT12, both of those can digivolve on top of Coromon irrespective of level. So you can just go into your Greymon, do a deletion, go into one of those, and then go into your promo one, retaining the 3k boost, as well as potentially getting more. You know, if you've got the 2k boost or the 1k boost from the BT14 and BT12 respectively, then you're making yourself even bigger and get that security tap +1 on the promo, which is really, really good. Then going into our only level 5, we've got Skull Greymon. We've only got the 1 level 5 just because we've got ways of warping up into our level 6s and our level 7s. And he's kind of the main thing we've got in here. Obviously, because he's purple, we can't return him to deck with Scramble, so you do have to be careful with that. But essentially what he does is he trashes a card, and then you can delete the lowest level Digimon you have and the lowest level Digimon that they have. So if they've only got 1 Digimon out and it just so happens to be level 6 or 7, that's their lowest Digimon. It dies. as long as it's not good protection, of course. And what's really cool as well is, obviously, again, this is part of that scramble combo. You go start of main, go up to Greymon, then go up into Skull Greymon, delete yourself, delete them, and then on deletion, you play out an AguBond, and if you've got a tamer with tie in its name, it gets Rush, which is not bad at all. Going into level 6s now, we've got BT14 War Greymon, which is a great card, so you can warp up into it if you've got a tamer with tie in its name, and if your opponent has a 10,000 DP or more Digimon in play. Gives you raid when digivolving, and then when you raid, or when you attack rather, you gain security attack +1 and piercing if you've got a tamer in play, which, especially if you've done the warp, you know you've got that tamer in play, so it's pretty damn nice. We've also got 2 War Greymons from BT17. He's not as aggressive as the BT14 one, but he does give us a little bit of spot removal. So he, on play when digivolving, deletes an 8k or less Digimon, which is not bad at all. You know, but the main thing he's in here for is because if you've got a tamer with tie in its name on the field, you can play him out for a reduced cost of 3. So play him out for 8, which is still quite a lot, but it is a cheaper way of going into a level 6 and gives us an ace target. So, you know, we put that out, we do a bit of spot removal, and then we've got the ace live, which is not bad. Obviously, it's fairly well readable, is the only thing I would say with that. However, if you've managed to also have an AguBond out, or if you have 2, you know, it just gives you another ace target, which is not bad. And then speaking of the aces, we've got the Bond of Bravery. So he only costs 8 to play out, and he can digivolve on top of either your level 6s for 3, or if you've got 2 or fewer security, on top of your AguMons for a cost of 3. And again, remember, the BT17 Greymon counts as an AguMon, which is pretty good. On play when digivolving, you delete up to this Digimon's DP's total worth of your opponent's Digimon. And if you've managed to boost yourself up with the Greymon and with another card we'll talk about as well, that means you can get rid of, you know, upwards of, if you're really lucky, up to 19, maybe even up to 20-ish if you've got the right setup. But usually you're going to be deleting within that 14 to 17 range, I would say, based on your board state. Of course, 14 though is the minimum unless you've been DP minused, you know, which is the one drawback of that. But then when attacking, it also has, if you have a tamer, trash your opponent's security stack. So if they've only got 1 security left, you trash the last security, swing for game. Not bad going at all. Then into the tamers, we've got 3 of the BT6 tie. Now his main effect is not really as useful anymore because the AguBond has its own way of warping off of an AguMon. You can still do it, but you know, I think the only reason why it'd be really useful is if it were to kind of force you into having enough security to go into another bond maybe. But the main reason he's in here is because when you move an AguMon or Greymon out, you game 1, draw 1. Which is not bad at all. Possibly something to swap out for something else, but the thing is, BT1 tie is not that useful in this because you seldom get a stack that's big enough. The BT12 tie is not really useful in this because Bond won't, you know, you can retain the blocker, but actually, is it AguMon in name? BT12 is AguMon in name, I think. It doesn't specifically have to be AguMon, so maybe you could give it blocker. You don't get reboot though, so this is a red deck. You want to be aggro, so giving yourself blocker probably not the best thing in the world. You know, but I mean, that's up for a bit of experimentation. So yeah, maybe give that a go. But we've also got the BT14 tie. And the reason we've got this one in here is it's another DP booster, so it gives one of your vaccine Digimon at the start of the main phase 2000 DP. Now obviously Bond itself is an unknown, it's not a vaccine, but all of your other stuff bar Skull Greymon are vaccines, and it's irrespective of colour, so it also includes the Greymon from BT17, gives it all of them 2000 DP, which is really cool. And then also has a your turn effect, and when a card is removed from your opponent's security, gain 1 memory. You could also maybe change this up for the Kari from BT9, because that can get you more memory at the start of the turn if you've got low enough security and if your opponent's got low enough security, and also makes your opponent's security Digimon less you know, powerful, with a minus 2000 DP on them, which can really help your promo Greymon. So that's also something to consider as well if you're looking for tech options, or if you're looking to change this build and kind of change it a little bit, because I've tried out that BT9. It does also work really well in this. We've got also the Kari from BT17, speaking of Kari, and this is in here because of the fact we can hatch and gain a memory, which is great, especially with the all turns effect or the on deletion effect rather of the Beta 17 Greymon. But also end of turn, you can return this tamer to the bottom of your deck, draw one, and then play out another tamer with Taiokari in its name. So that includes itself, so you can keep doing this kind of drawing loop. It includes the other ties. You know, it just really helps you with getting your other tamers out whilst also getting more draw. So not bad in the slightest. Then going on to the options, we've got a few. We've got 2 of the red scramble. We know what this one does. We went in quite depth on this one on Monday, but you get to, you know, one of the red Digimon may Digivolve up into another red Digimon with the Digivolution cost reduced by 3, but obviously bear in mind you've paid 2 to do this, so actually that reduction is only going to be cost of 1, so bear that in mind. Then you place it in the battle area. Start of your turn though, if your opponent has a Digimon, you delay, return 1 red Digimon card, so the Greymon and from BT17 and the Skull Greymon do not count towards that because they are not red. But you then get to play out a Digimon, red Digimon card with 2000 DP or less from your trash and go from there. And then you can do start a main to the BT14, get a cheeky search with the BT12, lots of stuff. So really good. We've also got 3 copies of the offense training. This just helps us give us another searcher. You know, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 red Digimon, red card among them to the hand, and then also obviously do the more cost reduction. You know, which sometimes obviously you get cost reduction from your scramble, but technically speaking, as I mentioned on Monday, the offense training does have a better kind of reduction in my mind, because the fact you set up the reduction rather than having to immediately use it. So I think offense training is the better one if you're looking to kind of cheapen your stack, whereas the scramble is better to kind of do that specific combo I mentioned. Like scramble's definitely very much you need to set up combos with it rather than just playing out something. You've also then got Crimson Blaze and Trident Gaia in at 1 copy each just for removal. The Crimson Blaze helps us get rid of multiple small bodies and helps, you know, stop getting more Digimon played out by effects. And the Trident Gaia deletes their highest DP Digimon, and if that Digimon has 13,000 DP or more, you trash the top of their security, so not bad at all. And then we've also got 2 copies of Lightning Joust. One of your Digimon gets 2000 DP for the turn, and if your security is equal or less to your opponent's, you also get +1 security. So 2000 DP as the first part of that effect, and then equal or less security attack +1, so which can really help the Greymon promo because it gets even bigger and gets more security attack. But that's the deck, guys. Sorry if I've got a bit more whirlwind on this. My recording software, my audio software was actually turned off during the last recording, so I'm kind of rushing this. But maybe you guys like it more when I'm a little bit more fast-paced. Who knows? Let me know. Also, let me know what you guys want to see from the rest of the special set. We have got another uploads coming on Friday. I'm not too sure what that will be at the time of recording. Either another deck profile or it'll be a match, but the matches we've got are from before the special set came out. One thing to say that I forgot to mention in Monday's video is that Christmas week there will be no uploads from us, just because I want some time off, and also because Dan works as a chef, he is majorly busy at the moment, so I am editing Jank Tank the Champions on my own, because I don't want to burden him when he is busy as fuck. But anyways, guys, so no uploads next week, and I will see you on Friday's video, whatever that may be, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and take care. Keep it digital.